Tip number 5. So y'all, I know this can be hard for a lot of people, but protective styles, stay away from the protective styles if you're adding any kind of, you know, hair or weave. And when I say that, I mean, like, you know, protective styles as in braids and, you know, wigs and stuff like that. Especially braids. And y'all, braids, please don't get braids and you know, dyed your hair. Just don't do it, because your hair is going to be tucked away in the braids. Your hair needs moisture, and with your hair being tucked away in the braids, your hair isn't going to be, you know, getting all the moisture that it needs because it's tucked away in the braids. And yeah, you can put moisture on top of the braids and all that kind of stuff, but it's still not the same. It's definitely not the same. It's not getting every part of your hair, because your hair is intertwined with the weave. And so it's just, I wouldn't recommend it. And that when you take your braids out, you might notice a lot of hair coming out, and that's because if you have color in your hair and your hair is dry in the braids, I mean, it's gonna cause breakage. So I wouldn't recommend getting braids when you have color on your hair. And with wigs, it kind of works the same thing. I mean, it's tucked away. You can put oil on your hair and stuff before, but don't leaving wigs on your hair, especially like the lace fronts and stuff like that. Those are left on for like days, and so it works the same way with braids. You're not going to be able to moisturize your hair like you need to every day. And so, I mean, it's just drying. It's drying your hair out. So, like I said, stay away from the protective styles as much as possible if you know, dye your hair and bleach your hair, because as I said before in the video, moisture is important. Like, it's the main key to keeping your hair healthy with color on your hair. So just stay away. Oh, and another thing, your edges, y'all. Color will and can mess up your edges. So if you are doing protective styles like that, and I mean, you know how tight protective styles can be, especially like with braids and stuff, and then wigs and glue and all that kind of stuff, that is going to be so damaging to your edges, and we don't want that. And you know, with stuff like that, your edges can start thinning, and we just don't want that. Your edges can start thinning, and in some cases, I mean, your hairline could start, you know. So we don't want that. So just stay away from it if you're gonna bleach your hair and color your hair. Tip number 6. So stay away from retouching up your hair. I know it's kind of hard, because like when your new growth starts to come in and it gets to like a certain length, a lot of people don't like that, so they decide to go ahead and retouch their hair up. But you don't want to keep doing that over and over and over and over. At least if y'all watched my previous videos when I've talked about, you know, my colors, or watch my hair dye video, I told y'all that I wait like at least 7 months. I let my new growth come in, how it's gonna come in, and then I decide to go ahead and give it a touch up. If you keep retouching your hair up every, I don't know, every month or 2 months, sis, you're just gonna keep damaging the top parts of your hair, and with that being damaged, you're gonna have to end up cutting that off. And so just stay away from that as much as possible. Like I said, let your new growth grow out. At least, if y'all don't want to wait 7 months, at least do 5 max. Okay? And if y'all are going to be doing that often like that, moisture is key once again. Your protein treatments is key once again. Your deep conditioning is key once again. So all that just ties into keeping everything on the right track. Tip number 7. Cut back on shampooing. Now, when I say this, I don't mean do not shampoo your hair at all. And I don't mean, you know, wait for 2 months to shampoo your hair. What I mean by this is, try to cut back on shampooing your hair every 2 weeks. if y'all have listened to my other tips, I said I shampoo my hair either once a week or every 2 weeks. So instead of shampooing my hair once a week, because the only reason I really shampoo my hair once a week is, you know, just to give my scalp a cleanse, or I feel like, you know, my product buildup is kind of bad that week, then I go ahead and, you know, shampoo it. But normally I would do every 2 weeks. So kind of cut back on the shampooing your hair to every 2 weeks. And then this will also help with the color of your hair. So if you just dye your hair or whatever, and you constantly are like shampooing your hair, your color could fade pretty fast, and we don't want that. So that's another thing that shampooing your hair every 2 weeks can do for your hair. And also stay away, like I said previously about sulfates and parabens, stay away from shampoos with those ingredients inside, because like I said, it can be damaging, and shampoo already is stripping your hair, stripping all the moisture out of your hair. So if those are also in that product, then it can be twice as damaging to your hair, and we just don't want that. So if y'all just have to do something to your hair, I would in between, you know, washes, I would recommend co-washing. I've heard a lot of people don't recommend co-washing. They say like, oh, it doesn't do anything, blase blase, but it's just another way to keep your hair healthy and moisturized in between washes. So I wouldn't say just cancel out co-washing, because I would say that co-washing has helped me maintain my color and helped me maintain the health and length of my hair, because I don't have to shampoo as much. So yes, I definitely recommend co-washing in between your washes if you know, don't want to wait every 2 weeks or whatever your case is. So yeah, co-wash I would recommend. So I trim your hair as needed, y'all. With color on your hair, your ends can get damaged, and they also can like split more easily and more often. So you want to just be, you know, kind of checking through your hair here and there, just making sure that you don't have any split ends, because once those split ends start with color in your hair, they can kind of split fast. And you know, when your hair is splitting, it splits all the way up your shaft, and you do not want that, because that's how people end up having to, you know, cut inches and inches off of their hair, and we don't want that. So like I said, just do some weekly checks here and there, you know, just to make sure that you don't have any split ends. And if you do, go ahead and just kind of nip it. It's not like you're cutting an inch off of your hair. Like when I go through it, I just cut about, y'all see this? I don't think it's gonna focus down to this much, but I literally just cut a little tiny bit of it if I see a split end, because normally my split ends aren't that bad, because I'm constantly, you know, checking and making sure that my ends are good and I'm taking care of my hair. So I tend not to have a lot of split ends already. But yeah, like I said, consistently check and see, and if you see it, just go ahead and cut. Split ends and shedding is just another one of those things that can happen when you dye your hair and bleach your hair. That's just one of those things. So like I said before, and I'm gonna keep saying it, moisture is the key, and trim those ends. The last tip that I have for you guys is, drumroll, oil your hair. Seal your hair with oil all the time, no matter what you're doing. Even if your hair is in a bun, sis, them edges, spray a little water on it, or put some water in your hands and run it through, and then put your little gel or whatever. But before you even put your gel on there, run some oil through it after you have sprayed your hair with water or put water in your hair. Seal your hair. When your hair is down and you're doing your hair care routine, make sure to seal your hair with oil, please. And when I say seal your, I mean your everything. Wherever the color is at, put some oil on it with water first. Put oil on it with water first. put oil on it with water first. And this is another one of those things, I'm going back to the ends. The ends are the most important part of your hair because it's the oldest part of your hair. So you have to give your ends more care. I mean, you have to give all of your hair care, but you really want to make sure that your ends stay moisturized, trimmed, and oiled. Like, that is the key to maintaining your length. So, like I said, make sure you're sealing your hair every day. I don't care what color, you have to keep your hair moisturized, and oil is going to be your best friend, I'm telling you. So, like, I'm gonna tell y'all, before, when I was trying to, trying out the color and stuff like that, my hair would be very, 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 very dry. And in the beginning, I wasn't really oiling as much as I needed to. And yeah, I had some shedding, I did, in the beginning. Then I realized, like, oh, I need to be moisturizing my hair. I need to be using oil in my hair. And what did I do? I started doing that, and then when I started doing that, my hair was fine. Like, I didn't have any more problems. And I was like, well, I should have just went ahead and did that from the beginning. And y'all know, like, your parents always right. My mama told me that before I put the color on my hair. But we always gotta be hard-headed here and there. And so I had to experience and go through that myself. Then I was like, I went to her and I was like, my hair is kind of shedding a lot. She's like, are you using moisture, putting oil in your hair, doing all this, doing all that, and da 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 da. And I was like, I'm gonna get back with you. So then I started doing that, and my hair was just so much better, less shedding. I had normal shedding. Your hair falls out every day. I had normal shedding. I didn't have any more split ends, and my hair was just overall healthier. So seal your hair with oil. And those are the tips that I have for color treated hair, bleached hair. So if y'all do all of those things, I promise you'll see a major difference in your hair. I've had a lot of people leave comments on my post saying, I'm so scared to dye my hair, or they've already dyed their hair and their hair fell out. But like I said, with dyeing your hair, you have to take with dyeing your hair, you have to take care of it like every day. Dye hair is not for the weak, I'm telling y'all, because you have to consistently be consistent with everything I just told y'all. It's just like an everyday thing. So if y'all are not ready for what comes with dyed and bleached hair, I'm telling y'all, stay away from the color, stay away from it. Just work on, growing and, maintaining your length and stuff like that. And like I also said at the beginning of my video, if you're trying to grow your hair long and maintain length, I wouldn't recommend getting color at the moment. Maybe on down the line, but just focus on, getting your hair to the length you want, and then taking baby steps up, to different colors and stuff like that. Don't just make a big leap. So that's all the advice I have for you guys. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Like I always tell y'all, like, comment, and subscribe. Support your girl. I really appreciate y'all support, and I appreciate y'all watching my videos and giving me feedback on the things that you didn't know or that helped, whatever it is. So yeah, love y'all.